I came here with completely different questions, but after this music question, I have to get into this more. And I'm sure that it was not beyond the interest of people sitting here, or around the world. I'm a music teacher, and I teach voice, and I call myself a holistic voice teacher, for lack of other wording, because I can sense people's energy through how they sound. Can you tell me something more about that? What is that?
Well, you can hear vibration. The more in alignment someone is, you're hearing alignment.
Mm-hmm.
It is possible for someone to construct a acceptable or even pleasing sound without, in other words, someone could really be out of alignment, and if they've trained themselves to sing, they could present themselves fairly well. But nothing measures up to someone who has trained their vessel into harmonics and then taps into source energy. Nothing matches up to that, and that's what you can hear.
Mm-hmm.
There is a sweetness even in a voice that isn't practiced that you can hear alignment through.
Mm-hmm. In my vortex, I'm the next singer for Esther's and Jerry's CDs. I'm trying to manifest that. I'm on my way. So I really like to help people aligning with themselves by using classical musical vocal techniques. And then it's very hard to find a balance between this trained voice, which doesn't come from the heart, but is correct, and this maybe lesser trained voice, which is more aligned.
Well, there are many different methods, but what we would do if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would go for alignment, and then we would train them. And we would let alignment trump the training every time. And what you have noticed, it happens all the time. People are trained out of alignment.
Yeah.
Because they are encouraged to evaluate standards, where all of the successes and failures that have been manifested in other artists are sort of laid out before them, and then in a comparative sense they are compared to each other, and then you as a student are compared to them as well. And in that process you are training yourself away from the harmonics of source.
Right.
So that's why it's always better to let them choose what appeals to them.
Yeah.
But we know you know all of this. We know that you know all of this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I ask one more thing?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to being able more and more keeping my balance around contrast. I was one of the guys who was not lying at the beginning of the workshop because I don't like it at the moment, the contrast. It's just minor things. I know that my basic grid is filling in with well-being from all different, all kind of different things, but I do attract worrying people.
What you may be saying to us, and we're going to take this conversation into a place it has never been before.
Oh, yes.
We're just going to settle in here and have fun with this, because this is where this conversation of deliberate creation has now evolved to. We've been saying for a long time that contrast is all part of it. And you all take it to mean that you have to put up with what is not wanted in order to understand what is wanted. But consider for a moment, just let this sentiment settle into you so that you can really feel it in the way that we mean it. What if the very contrast that you think you don't want is a gift of the vortex moving into your grid? What if it is the grid filling in with the next logical step, given the whole of who you are and what you want? Are you following? In other words, what if the contrast that you think you don't want is not something unwanted. You're not being tested by it. It's a piece of information. It's a piece of experience in order to help you formulate
Expand.
with greater clarity what you are wanting.
Yeah.
And since you are expanding beings, since we are all eternal beings, then don't you think it's time for us to embrace the contrast? And in doing so, don't you think it's time to embrace your own worthiness and to stop condemning yourself when you stand in a place that you or someone else would deem not perfect? Don't you want to say, those beatings or that experience, that thing I thought that I did not want was something attracted by the best part of me, not attracted by the worst part of me? That's the piece that we wanted to stick in here. Because you keep thinking that when contrast comes, that it's an indication of something that you have done wrong, when it never is. It's an indication of something else that you are doing right on your continuing path of eternal evolution, you see. And in the moment you embrace the contrast is a good thing as part of the process, as clarifying, not frustrating, or as stimulating, not embarrassing, or as valuable, not off the track, as on the track, not off the track.
I get that, but then if I get physical challenges because of it, then I'm thinking, hey, I am doing something wrong because I'm putting sticks in my wheel.
Well, the physical challenges only mean, in other words, if the more it manifests, it just means you didn't catch the early indicators, and you needed the necessary contrast to get bigger in order to help you to come to a more determined statement.
But I'm laughing about myself because I do see that I'm aware of it happening, and I'm able to push it away.
You're doing everything right except asking this question from the standpoint that you should stop that. You see what we're getting at?
Yeah,
in other words, why not say, this is how my life works. This is how my life works, and it's working really well for me. And I wouldn't trade any of it because I'm having such a robust, frolicking good time in the process. Can you hear that? Can you feel that? Somebody convinced you along your physical trail that you are here and that you ought to be over there and that you should go directly there and you should do it now, and if you don't, there's something wrong with you. And that was a flawed premise. Because the actuality of it, what you knew from your broader non-physical perspective, is here you are, and blessed that is over there, and oh, is it ever going to be joyful on your way over there? Joyful, Abraham? What if I have to go through unwanted things? What if I have sadness? What if I have sickness? What if I experience unwanted things? That doesn't sound very much like deliberate creation. Sounds like focusing to us.
And what if it is?
Sounds like defining to us. Sounds like clarifying to us. Sounds like launching new rockets
Absolutely.
to us. Sounds like the reason that you came into this experience to us. You didn't say, I'll go, but I want to go into a feathered nest. Feather my nest and then I'll go.
But
I'll be bored, but I'll get over it.
But Abraham, I know all that.
We know you know.
Yeah,
but there's something you don't know. Let's figure out what it is.